Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just said something so ignorant and cruel and flat out wrong about autism that it's not just a question of, oh, it's offensive. It's dangerously misinformed. Put aside for a second that the parents of autistic kids and others are going to hear this and go, that's disgusting. It is so wrong and is feeding RFK's backwards understanding of autism. Take a listen to this.
This is an individual tragedy as well. Autism destroys families. More importantly, it destroys our greatest resource, which are our children. These are children who should not be suffering like this. These are kids who, many of them were fully functional and regressed because of some environmental exposure into autism when they're 2 years old.
Of course, that's signaling vaccines, as many of you know.
And these are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. And we have to recognize we are doing this to our children.
This is disgusting. Now, first of all, yes, obviously RFK knows very little about autism. Autistic people will never go on a date. There's like an entire series, a dating series. I don't know what it's called. I know people who love it, about autistic dating, first of all. So it seems like plenty of them are going on dates. Many have jobs. Many pay taxes. Many go to the toilet unassisted. Of course, autism is a spectrum, right? You've got autistic folks who need more support, others that are fully independent. They go to school, they go on dates, they start companies. Elon Musk is autistic, I thought we were told. Lower on the spectrum, I guess, potentially the explanation for why he relates to others in the way that he does. And I'm trying to be careful here. Many do play baseball. Certainly poetry is on the table. Yes, Elon Musk tries not to pay taxes. That's true. But this whole concept of the affliction of autism as one thing and reducing an entire group of people to a list of things they can't do, it's not just inaccurate, it's completely dehumanizing. And this is, of course, the same guy who has spent so long now pushing debunked conspiracies about vaccines and autism that have been so clearly been demonstrated to be untrue. And now he makes it even worse by spreading an even darker lie, which is that autistic people are doomed to a life of complete incapacity and isolation. And it really tells you everything about how RFK sees people with disabilities. And there are people who say autism isn't even necessarily a disability. I'm trying to kind of respect all the different views on this. But he sees folks only as their challenge rather than the value and the potential. They're a burden. That's the impression you get from how RFK talks about this. Now, we've interviewed experts about autism. It's a complex condition believed to have some combination of genetic, neurological, possibly environmental components. It doesn't seem that there is a single cause. Importantly, it often seems to develop long before kids ever get a vaccine. And we have large-scale studies with hundreds of thousands of children showing no causal link between vaccines and autism. But this is becoming a political agenda, and that's important to understand, that this is not a medical reality that RFK is talking about. This is a political agenda that is part of why he even ended up on Trump's radar and why he was selected to be in this position to begin with. The world looks at who is the Secretary of Health and Human Services in the United States, and they see that it's RFK, and it's a combination of laughing and crying. We should be humiliated that this is who is in this role. And now we get the autism means people can't use the toilet stuff from RFK. Disgusting and embarrassing for the country. Huge bonus show today. We will talk about what is happening now with the Social Security cut possibilities and how former President Biden is reacting. Will Harvard have its tax-exempt status stripped by the IRS? That's what Trump wants. And finally, New York Attorney General Letitia James has become the latest target of Donald Trump's revenge tour. and we will talk about where that is going. All of those stories and more on today's bonus show. Remember that my book, The Echo Machine, back on the New York Times bestseller list, incredible, back on for a second week, is available everywhere books are sold. If you've bought the book, please do leave a review on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads. I look forward to seeing you on the bonus show and, of course, back on the show tomorrow. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what The Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get The Echo Machine right now at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo.